And hi again. Okay, in this video, I'll show you the hypothesis testing using p-value approach. Right, using the same example, fast food restaurant customer waiting time. Okay, now we use p-value approach. Okay, there are also 5 steps. The first step is formulating the hypothesis. Okay, so we use the same hypothesis here. I just show you the hypothesis already written to you. Okay, the null hypothesis, what has been practiced by our restaurant owner, our restaurant, and H1 is what has been claimed by our customer. Okay, saying denying what has been practiced by our restaurant. Okay, so the second step is to select the significant level, that is 0.05. Okay, so in this p-value approach, we need to compare the p-value against significance level. To reject the null hypothesis, our objective is to reject. Okay, our objective is to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so in order to reject the null hypothesis, the p-value must be less than 0.05. Okay, the p-value must be lesser than 0.05, must be smaller than 0.05. So we need to calculate the p-value. Okay, we need to calculate the p-value. We have to have, okay, I will show you later. Okay, in order to calculate the p-value, we have to have the information of t statistics and the degree of freedom 50, that is our sample, minus 1. Okay, we already calculated t value just now in our first example. So we get the t, which is negative 0.2043. So therefore now we can calculate our p value. How to calculate the p value? Okay, insert the equal sign. Alright, and type t to calculate p value. Right, we take t distribution. You have the choices here, t distribution and t distribution two-tailed test. So we are testing one-tailed test. So we double click t distribution, not with two-tailed. So for this t distribution, the information that we need to include here is x, degree of freedom, and cumulative, whether it is true or false. So x refers to t. Okay, we already calculated t. Then we just take t, okay, and comma. So the degree of freedom 49, just type 49. Okay, and whether it is true or false, then we take true. You comma just now, space. When you click space, all gone. So you type t and it comes out true. So click true. And then close bracket. Enter. Alright. You can get the value of more than 3 decimal places. As usual, you can click decrease decimal place, then you get 3. So I decrease to 3 decimal places. Once you get this p-value, now you can compare. That is our fourth step. Determine the decision rule, comparing between p with alpha value here. Significant value is alpha value. Okay, then you can make decision. Okay, whether p-value is greater than significant value. So in this analysis, we see p-value is greater than significant value. So since it is greater than, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Alright, the objective is to reject the null hypothesis. Then p is greater than significant value. Therefore, we fail to reject. In both approaches, whether you use critical approach or p-value approach, the decision must be similar, cannot be different. Right? It's just that the way that is different. Therefore, how to draw a conclusion? We fail to reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, we conclude that there is insufficient evidence. Insufficient evidence, okay, to prove that the customer is right. Okay, insufficient. Let me highlight insufficient here. Okay, insufficient evidence to prove that the customer is right. Therefore, we can't give free food to customer as her claim is not true. If misalnya our policy is to give free food if the services is more than 8 minutes. Okay, jadi kalaulah itu polisi kita, jadi when we prove that the customer is we have insufficient evidence to prove that the customer is right, then we cannot give her free food. Right, so I hope you are able to see the difference between p-value approach and critical T approach. P-value approach is actually simpler. Okay, so with that, we see again in the next video on other example. Thank you.